All of the food we eat and much of the clothing we wear comes from plants and animals that are raised on farms. Farms are different in type, in size, and even in name.
Welcome to Barn Talk. What happens at the barn stays in the barn, but not today. We're going to let it all out for you guys. Today is going to be a Barn Talk Hot Topics episode, but really just one patriotic hot topic we're going to discuss today. But before we get into it, you guys know the drill. If you get any value from the show, share it out with the people that you know. The more you guys do that, the more that this show can grow, the more guests we can get on, the more episodes we can make. Another way you can help out Barn Talk is you can leave a review on Spotify or Apple. The more that you do that, the more you give our show credibility, and it helps us recruit more guests. And we also love hearing what you guys think about the show. All your guys' feedback on what we can do better and just what you enjoy about the show always makes Dad and I's hearts feel full. Look at that. I'm getting sentimental.
I'm feeling pretty full today.
Last thing you can do to help out Barn Talk and support us and our family farm is you can support our direct-to-consumer meat business, Farmer Grade, farmergrade.com. Right now, we just launched our corporate gifting page on our website to make it pretty seamless and easy for businesses to gift their clients or gift their employees the gift of meat. So if you have a small business out there and you want to give the gift of meat to your employees or to your clients, we'd love to be able to help you out with that. You can go to farmergrade/corporate gifting, and that's where you can find it. We also are running a pretty nice special right now because we're getting closer to Thanksgiving and we want to get rid of these turkeys. So we are discounting the turkeys from $105 to $89. And then also, if you spend $250 or more on Farmer Grade, you get free shipping and a free Thanksgiving turkey to go along with it. So, yeah, take advantage because we don't want to keep these turkeys around past Thanksgiving. So if you want to help us out and get a free turkey, we'd love to give that to you.
We want no turkeys by the time grill out season.
That's right. And I think there is a fair amount of people that still eat turkey on Christmas.
Yep.
But it's less than Thanksgiving. So trying to get rid of those birds.
There's not many Easter turkeys.
Nope. We got 2 prime ribs left too that are up for grabs. So
nice. Might have to latch onto that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what better gift is there than the gift of meat?
Can't really beat it. I mean, as a man, I'd be pretty happy with a box of meat, to be honest, because I'm a foodie and I like food and I like meat. So,
got to eat something.
Might as
well eat some farmer grade meat.
Yeah,
so.
We got to pay the the
Metreon.
Yeah,
the Metreon. So yeah, support us. We don't have Patreon, but we have Farmer Grade. So show your support. Appreciate it.
That's our form of Patreon is Metreon.
Yep, absolutely. Trademark of Ricky Bobby Inc. Or if I had a catchy middle name, Torky Meeky Inc. Maybe
Larry Kneggendorf
Inc. Yep, that's my alias. That was always my trade show alias. Was when somebody hassled me that I didn't want to have contact with. That came in, caught me on the floor somewhere, and said, "Hey, who are you? Who do you work for?" I would always say, "I'm Larry Kneggendorf. I work for Baldwin Telecom," and that's actually a real person. It was a buddy of my father-in-law that they were in Vietnam together. But great name and great location and a great alias.
And you also said that you made soccer balls.
Well, yeah, we're off a little bit, but one of the questions and anybody that has ever worked in any trade show for, if you're whatever business you're in, you get these people that they come up to you and they're just making the rounds, and you can have in your booth a display of exactly what you do or what you sell, and this person will come up to you and they'll go, "So what do you do?" And so when I was in the hog building business, we'd have a booth that had, structures in our name, so that would lead you to believe that we built structures, and then we would have blueprints and miscellaneous parts for hog building sitting there, and somebody would come up and say, "So what do you all do?" And I would just look at, if I was feeling like being a dick, which I usually wasn't, but if it was somebody that I was pretty sure had no interest in purchasing a hog building, I would just look them square in the eye and go, soccer balls, and then just not say anything. And I was at a Missouri trade show once, and I said that to a guy, and literally the guy in the booth next to me, his coffee shot right out his nose. He laughed so hard. And that guy, the guy that I said it to, he caught on pretty quick that he wasn't impressed with my response, and he just kind of turned around and walked away. And the guy in the booth next to me, he goes, "Oh, that's the best." He goes, "You have no idea how many people I've wanted to say that to." And I said, "Yeah, you should try it. I mean, it's pretty freeing after a while." So anyway, that's where that all came from. But
Larry Knegendorf that sells soccer balls.
yeah, Larry Knegendorf from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Yeah, Kenosha. I couldn't remember if that's what I said he was. Larry Knegendorf from Kenosha, Wisconsin. I work for Baldwin Telecom.
Sells soccer balls.
Yep, and we sell soccer balls all over the world, especially at hog equipment, hog building trade shows. It's a niche. There's a lot of people out there that need soccer balls for their pigs and their hog buildings.
Enrichment toys.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, probably I was a little bit ahead of my time because, today there probably somebody is doing that. So, heck, who would have known?
Who would have known? How are the markets looking today?
I'll tell you what. You can always count on farmers, and I'm no different. Corn has been up. Corn's been had a really good day the last 2 days, and December corn's 426. And the thing that keeps happening is the carry. The carry is narrowing, and the reason is because farmers aren't selling like the market would like them to. So that's pulling up. That's narrowing the carry because they're trying to get bushels pulled ahead. They're trying to get people to sell, and that's kind of what's driving the price up. A lot of corn moving, a lot of beans moving, and there's a lot of speculation that with the Trump victory that China
got a bug on you?
Got a fly. The flies won't die in the barn. It's a prime spot, but there's a lot of thinking out there that China is going to preempt the Trump administration and buy a lot of U.S. soybeans because they're worried about there being a trade war. I don't know. I'm not very worried about that. But it's, the market, rumors move the market. So anyway, the benefit of that is corn has gone up. Beans have kind of recovered. They've been back and forth. They've had some good up days. They tried to have a really good up day yesterday. I think at one point they were up 20. They ended up being up 2. But anyway, December corn, 426. Best price locally I could find was $3.99. $4.19 if you want to go to Cedar Rapids or go to the river. They had the same bid last time I looked. Beans for January is $10.04. $9.91 in Burlington and $10.12 in Quincy. Bean meal, $298 a ton. Wheat for December is $5.73, and wheat's not going to really do anything because nobody wants to mess with wheat in the wintertime. All these companies, they don't move much meat. We move a lot of meat here, but we don't move much wheat, and we don't move it in the winter. So wheat price, it's just not doing much. Hogs for December, $82.15. Cattle, $185 or $1.85 a pound. Feeder cattle, $2.47. Crude oil, $72.24. I have said it many times. I'm surprised that crude oil has stayed where it's at with as much turmoil as going on in the Middle East. Bitcoin
is soaring, man.
It is going 75,000. I think it might be a little bit higher than that right now. Pretty much the S&P
Dow's up 1,500 points.
Yeah,
crazy.
I'd say that is a
S&P's up like I don't know what it is. I mean, what I have in the S&P, I started putting money into it again this year. It's up 26%.
Yep,
which is like.
And then what the 10-year average is 8 to
10% is what your year-on-year return should be. So it'll tank eventually, but it's just like, holy shit, seeing that's crazy.
Yeah, pretty much all your equity markets were up in response to the Trump victory. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Tesla, 288, and gold 26.65. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Gold was actually off a little bit. So post-election, I would expect precious metals to go down a little bit because people tend to move into them in times of turmoil. So we'll see whether or not those prices hold. You might have seen the high for gold. I don't know. We'll just have to see. So, yeah, I think harvest is basically done in most of the Midwest. There's some guys that have a little bit of stuff left. We've had a lot of rain the last week, so not much has gotten done. Everybody around here has moved on to trying to do manure, and not much of that's going on because it's just been too wet. But this week's going to be pretty square, so I would expect that it would smell real well around.
Smell ripe. Smell like money.
Yep, that's right.
Liquid gold.
Liquid gold.
Not talking about mac and cheese either.
So how do you feel?
I feel proud to be an American.
There you go.
I feel good. I feel like I don't think one man can solve all our problems, but I do think that we're going to get this country back on track at least and not head straight, keep down spiraling or spiral downwards. So, yeah, Trump won. I think there was a lot of anxious people. Mom was anxious. A couple of my buddies were anxious. Everybody was watching. And,
Did you stay up for the duration?
I stayed up all the way up until he won Pennsylvania, and then I was like, all right, it's done.
Yep.
Because I knew. And then he was pretty much winning Wisconsin, too, so I was like, okay, he's winning. And I think Kat, my fiance, stayed up all the way till Trump spoke. And but, man, it was like 1 a.m. I was like, I go to sleep.
My wife did, too. She actually stayed up later than I did. I stayed up until Trump started speaking. And when I saw, before he came out, they took the teleprompters down. And when I saw him take the teleprompters down, I was like, all right, I'm not staying for this whole thing because who knows how far it's going to go. I kind of wish I would have. I thought he had a really good speech, and it was nice to hear from Dana White and J.D. Vance. I thought that the media was really, really conservative on calling these races. Like,
sorry.
No, you're good.
I was worried. I mean, I was just thinking of 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what I was thinking. I was like, everybody was like, oh, this is over. This is over. This is over. Like on Twitter, at least, people were legacy media, actually not, but Twitter, it was like, oh, Trump's got this in the bag. Trump's got this in the bag. And I'm like, guys, just wait. Let's wait till we can get one of these battleground states to like really let's see if we can win one of those before we, because it was like he's got what he's expected to win. Let's see if he can win some of these battleground. And when he started winning those, I was like, okay, now we can really celebrate. But
yeah. So as we record this, the dust has settled. They called Michigan. They called Michigan last night. Yeah, they called Michigan last night.
Is Arizona and New Mexico still counting?
They're still counting, but I think they called Arizona for Trump.
Okay.
And so
good Lord,
he's going to end up winning all the battleground states. I think he's pretty much guaranteed to win Alaska. I don't think they've called Nevada yet.
I think he won Alaska.
Yeah, okay. So he's going to end up with over 300 plus electoral votes, and he won the popular vote. And that's very important.
You know what's cool about, well, not cool, but you know how big of a slap in the face that is to all the Dems that said, we should abolish the Electoral College.
Yep.
It should be about the popular vote. Well, that didn't serve you this time either.
Yeah.
So he won the Electoral College fair and square, and then he also won the popular vote. So your argument's shit.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that here a little bit later, but to win the popular vote, I think, was important just for that reason, because it makes it a much more dominant mandate to where they really don't have any leg to stand on. And what you've seen out of the media is they've all been very careful to not say anything down that line. They've all said that they're going to accept the results, If he would not have won the popular vote, you can bet your ass that they would have had exactly that conversation.
It only fits them when it's the other way around.
Yeah, he increased. I mean, he did better. He did better than what he did against Joe Biden. He did better than what he did against Clinton. Kamala underperformed everywhere. There is a great clip from, I think it's CNN or ABC.
It's CNN.
Where
Jake Tapper.
Yeah, Jake Tapper asked the guy running the screen if there's anywhere that she was overperforming, and he's like, "Well, let's show that." He backs out, and the entire United States is just gray.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Nowhere, not one county," and he's like, "Nope."
Yeah, because they were comparing it to what Biden did in 2020, and they zoomed out, and it was literally nowhere.
Yeah,
she was not outperforming Biden anywhere. How do you feel overall about it? How did you feel?
I'll tell you what. So yesterday, we're recording this on Tuesday morning, and we're recording this on Thursday morning. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so Wednesday morning, I went to bed late. It was probably close to 2:00 by the time I went to sleep, and I got up pretty decent time and drank some coffee, and I really didn't think I'd feel that much different, because I've always tried to just kind of, manage what's manageable. And when it comes to politics, I had pretty much resigned myself that I didn't really trust that it was going to go the way I wanted it to go or the way I thought it should go, because I always say that common sense is in short supply. And even though you can look at everything and say, there's no way, I mean, not to be, I think it's easy to say, and I think the Democrats in hindsight will agree with this. They couldn't have run a poorer candidate, I don't think. I mean, she was not qualified. She was a poor candidate. She really was. And I just looked at it and I was like, anybody with common sense can't look at that when she has no policy. She has nothing to separate her from what she's done. And what has been done isn't working, and she still connects herself with that. Can't think of anything that should have been changed, blah, blah, blah. But my wife, she grew up watching the Oscars and watching the Golden Globes and watching soap operas, and she still has that, I don't know, perspective that people listen to celebrities. And when Taylor Swift endorsed her, when Oprah endorsed her, when all these celebrities endorsed her, my wife was like, "Oh man, these Swifties, they're gonna go." She was very, very on edge about it. And as the results started coming in, like you look at what was it, like Michigan. The early voting favors the Democrat, and she would see that number and she would be like, "Oh my gosh, he's not even close." And then I'd have to kind of talk her down. But anyway, yesterday I was sitting there and I really felt like a weight had been lifted that I really didn't even realize that I had been carrying. And my wife had an appointment in Iowa City. And we went up there, and much to my surprise, there really wasn't much street flooding from all of the liberal tears that were crying. I really expected there to be some streets closed in downtown Iowa City, just because, just the weeping and the gnashing of teeth. Somebody told me that they were setting up tents in Iowa City for counseling. I didn't see any, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere. So anyway, I had an old fashioned at noon yesterday. And some deviled eggs, and because my wife was doing some shopping, I just sat at a restaurant, and they're like, "You want anything to drink?" And I'm like, I look at my watch, and I was like, "Yep, I think I'm going to have an old fashioned." So I just kind of soaked it in, I guess, feeling good.
Yeah, it was does feel like a weight's been lifted. Again, I'm all about control the controllables, but I mean, it's crazy that I felt like if she would have won, the reason Kamala could never tell you her policies is because if she told you her policies, everybody and their dog would go, fuck no. I think truly her policies were so far out there that expressing that on national TV or live television would scare the shit out of people. So she would never talk about what she actually wanted to do or what the establishment was going to do with her as far as using her as a vessel. But I mean, overall, yeah, I think the best candidate for the country won. The amount of the reaction that's come out of this, though, from people that are so bought into Kamala and the left. You're having women go on TikTok. I mean, the meltdown is happening, and videos are being posted, and it's all over the place. The amount of women that are saying, my rights are gone. My rights as a woman are gone. I don't have any rights anymore. How can we elect this man? What rights have you lost? What rights have you lost? Yeah. And there's women that are duetting these other women that are crying. What rights have you lost? Yeah. You haven't lost any rights. The abortion laws are to the state. You can change that inside your state. You can vote on what you want abortion laws to be. And if you don't like it, you can move to a blue state. If you want to abort your baby at 36 weeks or whatever, you can move to a state that allows that. So them running on abortion, it's not up to the Fed anyway. It's up to the state. So they just use that. And all this fear-mongering about Trump hating women and taking their rights away and all that shit, he's not going to take your rights away. Like, you have been spoon-fed by CNN, by MSNBC, by ABC. And here's the realization. Because Kat and I have been kind of watching. We would flip back and forth between, during when the election results were coming in. And even after the fact, like yesterday, we were tuning in to CNN just to listen to him, or MSNBC. If that is all you consume, yeah, you're going to hate Donald Trump. I mean, seriously, it is like they just say the most outlandish shit that's not even true, that literally paints Elon Musk, paints J.D. Vance, paints Donald Trump as the Antichrist, and that they're going to turn this country into a dictator. He's going to be a dictator, and he's going to take our rights away. And I mean, it's insane. It's literally insanity. And, I don't tune into that shit ever because I just know it is. But when you go and actually watch it now for just a little bit, you're like, holy shit, these people are off their rocker. Mm-hmm. These people are so bought and paid for by the establishment to push their... It's propaganda. I mean, it is straight propaganda, what they say. And here's what I figured out. And this is what Elon talked about on Rogan's podcast. Elon did a podcast with Rogan the day before the election. And when your perspective is only legacy media, you're going to think a completely different way than somebody that listens to podcasts and is active on X and does their own research. Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, you want to know why people voted for Kamala? Because they literally don't consume any other information than what the propaganda machine is pushing to them. That's it. Yeah. They don't listen to the podcasts. They don't go on X, that's a free speech platform that has community notes that actually facts check people in real time and says, hey, that's wrong. Here's a link to what that video actually is, Yep. And you can say and do what you want. And when major events happen, X is the best place to see the real shit happening because people are posting on there. It's not getting taken down. It's not getting censored. It's getting posted in real time. Yeah. I mean, when Trump got shot the first time, information from the ground was getting posted on X from citizens faster than legacy media covering it.
Right.
And legacy media covering it was a false narrative.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the legacy media a little bit, because as soon as this all started to materialize, everybody was running with what this all means. And it means a lot of things, really. But his win, I feel like, is I don't want to underplay what it is for him, because it's probably the greatest political comeback in American history. I don't
give a fuck what anybody says. Donald Trump is as a legend.
Oh no,
you cannot deny if you were told this as a child about this man.
Yeah.
And his origin story and how he rose to be the president of the United States and all the shit he's been through twice. Plus he was a successful businessman and then an icon. You would just be like, holy shit, this guy's like he lived an insane life. Like, this dude's a legend.
This would be an excellent movie that Hollywood will never make.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you learn this in history class about a man, like, you'd be like, holy shit, this dude was like a baller. This guy he lived an insane life.
But I think as much as it is a testimony to what Trump did, I think it is the biggest nail in the coffin of legacy media that we've had to date. And I'll give you a couple of points about that. So $16 billion was spent on this election. $16 billion. By the way, the Kamala Harris campaign is, they're upside down. I can't remember how many $1 million they're upside down, but they overspent. They're broke, which doesn't surprise me. But when you think about that, they worked hand in hand with the Democratic leadership, and you have been spoon-fed this narrative for the last 3.5 years that Joe is fine, the border is fine, Kamala is a smart, strong, qualified, independent-thinking woman. Abortion should be your number one issue, because if Donald Trump is elected, women's rights are done. And when they say women's rights, what they mean is abortion. And you had all of these celebrities coming out and saying that they were supporting her for their daughters. Well, if you're supporting abortion for your daughters, I'm sorry, what that really means is, and this is something that people don't talk about, but this is what that means. What you're saying is, you want it to be to where men can use your daughter for sex, and if she gets pregnant, you can abort that baby so she can be used again, making you bad decisions. I mean, is that what you want? And it's so funny because you say you're doing this for your daughter. Well, you're doing this for your daughter with the idea you never want to have grandchildren, that you never want your daughter to have a family. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, when you say you're doing this for women's rights, well, are you though? I mean, I don't know. I am under the opinion that you can do whatever you want to do as long as I don't have to pay for it, because to me, abortion that's a personal choice. It is between you and the good Lord what you want to do. I'm not going to support it, but I'm not going to tell you can't do it, but I'm not paying for it. So it's a states' rights, and the states are going to have to figure it out. But it's this whole thing that they push, that's the issue, and it's women's health. That's not women's health. I'm sorry. It's just not. And they push that Trump's a racist, a misogynist, a fascist, a Nazi.
A felon.
All this stuff. And then Kamala, she's a black woman. She's a white woman. She's a Hispanic woman.
She's an Indian woman.
She's an immigrant. She's Puerto Rican. She's Jamaican. She's whatever you need her to be. I mean, and it just goes on and on and on. And they spent just a pile of money on this. And Dana White thanked all the people that had Trump on their podcasts. Those podcasts cost the Trump campaign nothing, or nearly nothing. I mean, I don't know. They probably paid him something. But the reach of something like that, and the money spent, the value of long-form podcast, that really shined the light, because the Democrats spent a pile of money paying people to go knock on doors. They had the best ground game. They talked about this, that she had the best ground game of any politician. It was just 1,000 doors a minute. They were knocking on doors in Philadelphia or across the country. But you know what? Dave Portnoy standing outside eating a piece of pizza and telling you that she's an idiot, and what he really thinks about it, priceless.
Yep.
Priceless. And that resonates with people because all that shit that I listed to you that they told you at the end of the day, on election day, a whole lot of people finally woke up and said, I don't believe all this. I just don't believe all this.
I think people wake up and they say, I don't trust you. You're in it. You can't go on Rogan. Any interview you see of her, she's blaming Donald Trump. She can't come up with a reason for X, Y, and Z problem. She just gives you some bullshit. And her inability to like talk long form, her inability to she turned down Joe Rogan's interview. She went on Call Her Daddy, but Call Her Daddy was a fucking layup for her. I mean, that was pretty much, they gave her ground balls and she just whatever. And I'll just say this. I think Trump, he's got some experience running campaigns. Well, let's be real. He's done this a couple times, but this was by far his best campaign ever.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude went to every major college football game that there was, every major NFL football game there was. The trolling with the garbage truck, McDonald's, being on Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz,
Nelk Boys,
Sean Ryan, Nelk Boys,
Theo Vaughn,
Aiden Ross, Twitch, Barn Talk.
Damn it,
he had to back out on us.
Schedule that,
yeah, damn it. But if that doesn't show that mainstream media doesn't have as much pull as,
no, they don't.
They don't have as much pull, and this is the first election where I feel like that reigns true.
The integrity. The problem is they have no integrity left.
And this is what might kill them. I mean, they're already in a downward spiral, but if they do exactly what they did from 2020 or from 2016 to 2020,
from now going forward,
they will be gone. Because if they react the same way and just fucking run Trump into the ground every single day, judging his ice cream flavor, judging what he eats, just every little thing that they can nitpick about him, like they did from 2016 to 2020, people are going to get off. They're going to totally tune it out, and they're going to lose it all. They're going to lose it all, which I don't think they even have much left anyway, but they're going to run it into the ground.
The demographic that should scare both media and the Democrats the most. There was a lot of talk about what demographics and what ethnicities Trump polled well with, voted for him well. The one that should scare him the most is young people, because him making the decision to do all those podcasts and to be at all those events, that resonated with a much younger voter. And the biggest problem that legacy media has is they are bringing no new people. There's no new people sitting down to watch The View. There's no young people. There's no young mothers sitting down to watch The View. Their audience is stagnant and it's aging, and there's no new blood coming to media.
I can tell you exactly why. I talk to young people all the time. We do not trust you. That's the bottom line. Plain and simple. We do not trust The View. We do not trust the legacy media. You have no authenticity. You are a puppet, and we all recognize it. Your talking points, everything you say, we know you're bought. We know you're bought. We listen to Rogan because we know he's not bought. We listen to Sean Ryan because we know he's not bought. We listen to Andrew Schultz because we know he's not bought. We listen to the Nelk Boys and watch their videos because we know they're not bought. When we know, we can smell out that you're bought and paid for, we don't fucking buy anything that you're selling. And it's you guys, they don't even make it, they make it so blatantly obvious, right. It's not even funny. And ESPN's going down that road as well. And we can smell it. We can smell it. You guys are... You are so bought and so blatantly obvious about it that we don't trust it at all. We do not trust it at all. And celebrity culture is an all-time low.
Yep.
The only people that are still watching these shows, the Grammys, the Oscars, whatever, are old boomer women and maybe some men. Boomers are watching that shit. Boomers are listening to celebrities and what they have to say, political, voting on bills, voting on politicians, saying we should do this, saying we should do that. Young people are fucking over it. We are overhearing what celebrities have to say because their worldview is shaped. Dude, so like athlete, let's take LeBron James, for example. You might have struggled when you were young. You probably struggled when you were younger. You know, grew up in Ohio with your mom. You got into basketball. That was your way out. You did it, which is big props to you. But from 18 years old to where you are today, you have lived in this world where you are the greatest basketball player of the modern age, right? You are like today's Michael Jordan. And from 18 years old to now, you are still that dude. Your worldview of how you think we as Americans are feeling through our day-to-day life, you have no
frame of reference.
You have no frame of reference. And it's the same. I'm just using LeBron as an example, but it's the same way with all these fuckers.
Yeah.
Beyonce, you're telling me you know what's best for me and my family and us as real Americans that are working, that are going through the shit, and you don't know our struggles. You have no idea how we feel in 2024 because you're so far removed from it. And politicians are the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, their way of life, they have a fucking person that drives them around, dresses them, buys their clothes, cooks for them, cleans for them. They don't go to the grocery store. They don't fucking know what groceries cost. I mean, they don't have any frame of reference. And so when they're so blatantly obviously bought too, and they try to tell us how we should think, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Same with the talk show hosts, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, bought and paid for. Yeah. Blatantly obvious about it. It's we as young people, why Trump got the young vote is because, we don't listen to those people. And they just can't. The legacy media is like, oh, I don't get it. How did we not get the young men? And I saw somebody say this on CNN. It's because the young men look at Trump and they idolize Trump and want his life. I do not want Donald Trump's life whatsoever. You couldn't fucking pay me to do that. Could not pay me to go through the shit he's gone through.
Yeah.
No, I think a lot of young people would say, men would say, no way. You have it totally fucking wrong. We do not idolize Donald Trump's life. We trust that he is anti-establishment and isn't fucking bought and paid for to peddle your game of what you want America to be. That's why. You want to know why? It's because we trust him and we think he's pro-American, and you don't have his number. You don't have him bought. You can't give him any money to make a decision for you and your game and what you want the establishment to be. That's why. That is literally why. And Kamala's a vessel.
Yeah.
That's it. Kamala, it's easily recognizable that she's a vessel and she is bought.
Yeah. So the second, like, you've got legacy media, they're panicked. But the other thing I thought was really interesting, and you touched on this, was these celebrities. The list of celebrities that came out, I'd say it's probably the biggest list of people that I've ever seen come out that they brought. But something that's kind of in common that runs with that, when you look at it, they're all legacy. I call them legacy Hollywood because they're all the old bastards. De Niro, Mark Hamill, Alec Baldwin, DiCaprio, George Clooney, go on and on and on. They're all people that are trying to do the same thing that legacy media is doing. They're trying to stay relevant, and they're bought and paid for, and they're desperate, and it didn't work. And the one that really sticks out to me is they thought when Taylor Swift came out and endorsed her, I bet you they thought they had it. But here's the thing. Do you know who buys all those concert tickets? Not the Swifties. It's their dads. It's their mom and dads. And Swifties don't vote. And they found that out. They don't vote. And Oprah, you know what? I think Oprah, she's not relevant in any circle that I am. I mean, I feel like that ship sailed. But there's a bunch of these people that they got to endorse her that will not recover. from that. People are like, I'll give you a perfect example. Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA was one of the first albums that I bought. Thank you, Columbia House. Loved it. Listened to that thing, both sides. Taped it off, put it on a cassette, played it in my car, loved it. I don't take political advice from Bruce Springsteen. I never looked up at Bruce Springsteen as like, oh, that guy, I want to take advice from him. No. Loved his music. He's not relevant, hasn't been relevant in a long time. They can't accept that. They can't accept it because they have a really hard time, the fact they're getting old, that they're not relevant, they don't have the power, they don't have the money, and they don't have the people that they used to.
They don't have the influence.
And they don't have the influence, but Hollywood totally does not have the influence. But along those lines, Mark Cuban will not recover
lost all respect. Lost all respect for Mark Cuban. The hill he was dying on to defend Kamala Harris, you lost all respect, brother. Yep. I mean, holy shit. It's insane to me that, I mean, he was her biggest fan until he told everybody that Trump doesn't want to surround himself with any
no smart women,
no independent women, no powerful women around him. That's why he said that. And then Kamala, the Harris campaign told him, do not speak on her behalf any longer. And then he had to shut up.
Yep.
But that dude, yeah, all respect is lost. And I think like for the actors, that endorse, I think they just are in this cocoon where if they want to get more scripts with directors, they know they have to come out and defend the left if they want to get more scripts for more movies. I mean, it is all about staying relevant because I'm sure the directors that are casting these people are huge liberals. And if you want to stay on their good side, you better not cross the line.
Yeah.
So that's and I'll give a big shout out to Chris Pratt. And it's crazy to me that Chris Pratt has been in so many good movies because he is Republican. He's out about it. He's been very open and honest about he's conservative. And he's about the only actor that I feel like has came out and said, I'm conservative and still is in big movies. Yep. But I'm sure it's pretty tough if people know that you're conservative and make it.
Well, at the end of the day, the thing that hit me, and I wish I could take credit that I thought this up, and I can't give credit to the person that said it. I want to say that it was actually somebody on CNN said this. Trump has a motor like none other. Like, it's unbelievable how much energy he has. But the change in Trump from that assassination attempt, I mean, I feel like from that point on, his motor just went up about 8 notches. And I mean, there's somebody was talking about that they saw him at a rally, and he talked for 2.5 hours, got on a plane, flew 30 minutes, talked for 3 hours, got on a bus, went someplace 20 minutes or half hour, spoke another 2 hours.
Well, there's a TikTok team Trump on TikTok. That's their handle. They literally did a day in the life for him. Yeah, he's going till like 11 o'clock. He gets out the door at 7:30 and he's got a suit on. So, he's up at like 5 because he's got to get ready or whatever. Probably eats, gets coffee, whatever. Out the door at 7:30. He's not home till like midnight.
Yeah.
And he's just going.
Day after day.
Interview, rally, podcast. I mean, he is going. And he went like that for 100 days plus.
Yeah.
I mean.
But the Trump that we elected is not the same man that we elected in 2016. Not the same guy. He has changed, and the reason he's changed, and this is the irony that I love the most, is the reason the left is so afraid of Trump is because He is everything that they were afraid that he would be because they made him that way. From 2020, well, really from the time he was elected, but from 2020, they have done everything possible to destroy that guy. And a normal person, an exceptional person, would have fucking folded by now. There's no way. They brought every possible attack they could to him. And, I mean, somebody shot him. But what, a normal person would have broken. But it literally is. It's literally like a fucking Rocky movie where most people would fold. When he stood up that day.
And said fight 3 times.
And he said fight. He drank his own Kool-Aid. And from then on, that's when you saw the epic trolling that he did so well. I mean, I know that wasn't all just his idea. He has good people working for him. But he just took the gloves off and said, we're not going to leave anything. And he turned into the monster that the left was afraid that he could be. I mean, if they want to blame they made Trump into who he is, because the man that won the election 2 nights ago, that's not the same guy that won the election in 2016.
No.
And I am so optimistic that shit's going to get done because go ahead.
I was going to say, I was going to tap in. I think he's going to have a really great 4 years because not only he's back to, he's done this, been there, done that. He knows what needs to be done. He knows how it works.
He knows who he can.
He's funding the transition himself.
Yep.
But the team he surrounded himself, the team that surrounds him, that he's built around himself, RFK, JD Vance. JD Vance has really grown on me. And I think a lot of people are on that board. Dude is a real ass dude, authentic, not fluff, tells it how it is, very well spoken, answers questions with actual responses, not this tiptoe bullshit that politicians do. So you got RFK Jr., JD Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, Donald Trump. Am I forgetting one?
I don't think so. I think you got him.
Yeah. I mean, that is a solid group of people that I feel like do love America,
yep,
that aren't corrupted by the system, that genuinely want to fix this country. Tulsi's anti-military industrial complex. RFK's anti-industrial military industrial complex. RFK wants to make America healthier again.
I think the other thing that's super interesting about this, and I don't think we touched on this enough, and not to, get off in the weeds, but
all I wanted to say was your vote for Donald Trump wasn't just for Donald Trump. It was for all the people that are in his corner that are going to fix shit alongside him. And he's assembled a team that I think's one of the better ones we've seen in a long time.
And the reason for that is because when you look at each one of those people individually, there are a whole lot of things that I guarantee you they don't agree with Trump with, and he doesn't agree with them. However,
they're putting that shit aside.
They have put that aside because they all realize what this is. This is a testimony, a mandate. I don't think mandate's the right word, but what it should show you is there is a huge section of Americans that have figured out this America is not about one issue. And the left has tried to make Americans into single issue voters because they want everybody to be divided. And what Trump's transition team and what the group of people that has surrounded him tells you is there's a whole lot of people that have woke up and decided, yes, this is important to me, but being able to live free and have freedom of choice, freedom of thought,
freedom of speech
to make my life is more important than this single issue. And that is what's impressive. And as important as that great team of people that he has around him, knowing who not to trust, because he trusted people that he shouldn't when he went there in 2016, and now he knows. He knows who not to talk to. He knows who not to trust. He knows who not to take advice from. And that is just as important as, maybe not quite as important, but
yeah, he's been there, done that. I think he's gonna get shit done quick, unless the left tries to throw every goddamn crisis that they possibly can at this man. So all he has to do is focus on crisis rather than the fixing the country. Yeah. Because if you give him 4 years to solely focus on fixing our shit, with the team he's assembled, the been there, done that mentality, he's going to get shit done. He's actually going to get shit done for the betterment of this country, not to grease anybody, not to grease any donors or lobbyists, for the American people.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And that team that got assembled, listen to Elon Musk's podcast. Listen to J.D. Vance's podcast with Joe Rogan. Listen to the Sean Ryan. The real ass Americans are coming together because they realize we were at a tipping point. If Kamala would have won, the establishment would have got another 4 years. Who knows where we're headed, but a lot of people speculate that it's socialism, communism. That is the goal of that side.
Yeah.
They are going so far left that Joe Rogan, that was a lifelong Democrat, Elon Musk, that was a long life Democrat, Tulsi Gabbard, longtime Democrat, RFK Jr., Democrat. They are realizing that side is so fucked up and is so anti-America and what makes us Americans and what's made this country great for so long, that they are, exactly to your point, realizing that this is the side that we can keep our American values. This is where we need to be for the future of this country, not over there, because they are going to destroy this country. And I don't know if it's intentional or if it's incompetence or what, but you can't tell me the last 4 years, leaving the border open, COVID, all the shit, that was just incompetence. You can't tell me leaving the border open for as long as it was, letting that many people in, wasn't done on purpose.
Short-sighted.
It was very short-sighted, and I think it was intentional. And that's my opinion. Don't know. But I think the team that we have assembled now, they genuinely want the best for the American people. That's how I feel. And they don't just tell it, they show it. And you might hate Trump for what he said in the past or what he's done, whatever. Every great American has flaws. Every person has flaws. Every person's made mistakes. It's about who you are now. It's about the actions that you take now. It's about showing us who you really are. And I believe in Donald Trump. I believe President Trump can get this shit turned around. And I'm so glad that he got elected, because if he wouldn't have, I would have been genuinely worried for the future of our country. And so I think he's going to get shit done. I think he's going to get this country back on track. And I hope that, he's already planning. So everybody thought this big secret that Trump was talking about, I got this secret, was like his agenda of becoming a dictator. That's what the left was telling everybody. Yep. No, he just put out a video talking about America's 250th birthday. And he wants to create a year-long celebration of America's 250th birthday. And he wants to host the Great American State Fair here at the Iowa State Fairgrounds.
Holy cow. When did he put this out?
He just put it out yesterday. I just liked it on Twitter. He literally talked about the whole thing. He is going to throw a year-long celebration of America's 250th birthday, and then he wants to have the Great American State Fair. And he's hoping Iowa, the great state of Iowa, will have the Great American State Fair at the Iowa Fairgrounds.
Nice.
And he wants to highlight the history of every state and the history of our country. And then he also wants to have great high school athletes do sporting events to also tee off the great American just celebration.
Wow.
And show off their talents. So that was the secret. That was the secret that the left was telling you, that he had this agenda that he was going to be a fucking dictator. No, he literally just dropped it like last night, that it's the great American state fair for America's 250th birthday. And he wants to create 90 statues of all the greatest Americans to ever live. Like, he is going full blown American patriotism. Nice. He wants to celebrate America. That's for 250th birthday.
That's awesome. What do you think? What do you think the next 70 days? Is it 70 days? What do you think the next 70 days are going to be like?
I hope really good. I hope we can boot them fuckers out of office and they're gone. My biggest fear with this is, again, I fear that the left is going to try to bring as many crises, put as many crises on his plate as possible so that he cannot focus on fixing this country. When COVID hit, what did Trump had to focus his attention on? Yep. COVID. Crisis. Big crisis that hit. Came out of China, right? Had to focus on it. Because it's like, if a terrorist attack happens on American soil, that's a crisis.
That's what you
now everybody's going to, now the war machine's drum's going to start pounding.
Yep.
And the pressure of,
we got to go.
Do we got to go over there? Do we have to retaliate? That's all going to take his focus away from actually helping America and getting shit solved.
How do you think Zelensky's sleeping right now?
I think he knows the choo-choo train's coming to an end.
I think that's going to be really interesting. So I think the Israelis are probably got a sigh of relief. I think the Iranians are thinking, oh shit. I don't know what the Europeans are thinking.
I think he's gonna I think he's gonna bring peace. I really do. I think he's gonna bring peace. I think hoping our economy soars again.
Yeah.
And I think
so I'll give you my thoughts on the next 70 days, because I think I saw the first inkling of that this morning. I saw a story on I saw the clip on Twitter, but I don't know who it was, but it was some media person, and they were interviewing someone within the Department of Education. And they asked him whether or not they thought that Trump was going to abolish the Department of Education. And I told and I don't know what that person said. I don't care what they said. But I think that for the next, until Inauguration Day, the left, they're not going to fight about the election, and they're not going to say anything about it not being valid or relevant or anything, because it was too clear of a victory. But I think what you're going to see them do is they are going to start going after every one of these three-letter agencies that is in Trump's crosshairs, and they're going to start drumming up. You're going to see all these human interest stories about everything that each one of these agencies does, and they're going to find some person that some law or statute has helped or protected or whatever. They're going to humanize the shit out of government, because they are in full-blown panic of what he's going to do as far as thinning down the size of the machine. And I think that's going to be their focus. And then the other thing I thought was interesting is the special prosecutor from the Department of Justice, Michael, is his name Michael Ray? I should have wrote that down. But he was the guy that was trying to bring litigation against Trump. He's shutting down his case. He made the comment yesterday that you can't prosecute a sitting president, and so basically he can't he can't do anything, which is just a good way of him saying that I really don't have shit and I can't make anything stick. So he's out. But Letitia James, the district attorney or the attorney general for the state of New York, she came out yesterday and she's pissed off. And she said that she has a contingency plan and that Trump's she's not letting up. She's going to keep at him. So
I hope he's got a good security force around him.
Well, I think he
Secret
does.
Service, I hope keeps the man safe, because that's also a fear of mine. Will they try to assassinate him once again?
He better not plan on getting out of the car on Pennsylvania Avenue and walking down to the inauguration. As much as everybody would like to see that, I don't think that's probably a good idea.
But I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling like the tide has changed. The people have spoken, and I just want to give a shout out to all of you. I know not all of you are conservatives. I know that not all of you, we all think the same. But for those of you that did vote, thanks for voting, because that's what we need. That's how we make change as a people. Whether you voted for Kamal or Trump, you spoke your mind, you voted. It's just a reminder that we have the power. Us people have the power. And you did your civic duty of voting. So any of you that, hopefully most of you voted, because that's really, really important. And
if you don't vote, you can't bitch.
Yeah, that's true. And I think people, everybody talks about should 18-year-olds vote, whatever. You know what I think? If you don't pay taxes, you shouldn't fucking vote. That's what I think. That's
a hot button.
That's a hot button, but I think that's the truth. If you aren't contributing and you don't pay taxes, you shouldn't fucking say shit about what goes on.
I think everybody should pay taxes. Everybody should pay something.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to shout out you guys for the support. Listen to our political rants. I know it's not for everybody, but for those of you that appreciate what we have to say and like what we have to say and might relate to what we have to say, we appreciate you guys for listening and always tuning into what we got going on. And I feel very optimistic for these next 4 years. I'm feeling like we've put a jam in the power at be that wants this country to fall. Genuinely, I feel like we're on the offense now.
Yeah.
And so we just got to keep anybody that's pro-American. Doesn't matter. I don't care if it's a left, independent, right candidate. If you show me you're pro-American and you're not bought and paid for by the establishment, I value you as a candidate and I value you as a leader of this country. And that's what's important. We got to get people, no matter what side they're on in power, that you can see and believe that they're for the American people, and they don't just say word salad to make you feel that way. They show it with their actions. They're willing to go and have real-ass conversations for long-form content with the spokespeople of this world, of America, that are, they're the beacons of truth. Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, X the platform, those are beacons of truth. Those aren't corrupted. Those aren't propaganda machines. That's real ass shit. And so anybody that's willing to go on there and talk the truth and say their piece and shows you who they really are,
yeah,
those are the people we got to get in power, regardless of side. I don't give a fuck about left, right. I don't care. I just want great candidates that actually want to serve this country and do right by the American people. That's who I want.
Yeah.
And the left right now is not showing that. They are not showing that they're for the American people, and they are not showing that we can trust them, and they aren't authentic, and they don't hide it.
You know what my goal for Barn Talk podcast is for the next year? I mean, we're a little ahead of New Year's resolutions, but I was just sitting here thinking about this, and we've done a lot of hot topics this year. I feel like this year especially, I mean, we've done a hot topic about every month, and it's been about this whole mess. And my goal is to not have these issues to talk about.
I second that. I agree.
I'd love to just be able to have guest after guest after guest, and the thing is, we're at the point now where we've got a lot of guests in the pipeline, and we'll definitely have fewer episodes where it's just Sawyer and I. But when we are, my goal is not have to talk about politics, because
I agree.
To be honest, I think as Americans, we're all tired. The thing is, it's just been too damn important. It's been too damn important to me, I think to both of us, to, if nothing else, just convince all of you to not take everything at face value, do your own research, find your own truth. Well, and I mean, that will continue, but with any luck and a little help from the God Almighty, we're going to have time for other stuff.
I agree with that. That's 100%, yeah. It's what you said. We put this out here, guys, because we want to feel like, because for a long time, we're called the silent majority.
Yeah.
And we weren't, if Elon would have not bought in Twitter, I really feel like censorship would have been, it would have been just way worse. It would have just continued. It would have gotten way worse. But now all these other platforms have to kind of follow suit behind Elon, because once we kind of showed the corruption.
Yeah, he shined the flashlight.
And so just us being able to put out our opinions, it is so that you guys go and do your own digging, but also just know that you're not alone. That maybe you relate to us on a couple things, and that thought you really weren't feeling like you could say in public, but guess what? You can, because there's other people that think just like you. You know, that's what it's about. Because if we just shut up and take it, that's how we get fucked, dude. So you got to talk, you got to speak up, and you got to say your truth. And so, we keep it real on here, and I know not all you like it and love what we have to say about politics, but I agree with Dad. Hopefully, we don't have to talk about shit going south all the time, and we can talk about just what we want to talk about that's a little more positive and upbeat, and talk farming. Because I know that's what a lot of you like to listen to. So, with any luck, hopefully things will cool off, and we'll get some shit done and get America back on the right track.
Yeah, and as soon as Trump lets anybody know who he's looking for Secretary of Ag, I'll be very interested to find that out, and we're definitely going to try to have that person on, whoever that is.
And here's another thing. If we do have the Great American State Fair here at the Iowa State Fairgrounds, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek, I forgot Vivek.
Vivek, yep.
He was part of the A-team too. Vivek, RFK Jr., y'all have an open invitation to come to Iowa and come on Barn Talk and do this podcast. We'd love to have you on. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have any one of those people on. So if everybody comes to celebrate the Great American State Fair,
free jerky,
bourbon. Free meat, free bourbon. We'll clip all the clips up, send it out to you. We'll make it happen. So I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
Get all your words out.
I think I did. I'm excited. I'm gonna go chore some pigs now.
That sounds good. All right, guys. We really appreciate all your support. We love you guys. We're feeling optimistic. Keep fighting the good fight. And we'll see you back here next week for another episode.